Okay, well, it's the appointed time. It's 6 o'clock. Ladies and gentlemen, so we'll call this meeting to order. This is the regular meeting of the Rockingham County Board of Elections. If you're following your agenda, Chairman Powell is not here this evening. I'm Burt Jones. I'm the Secretary of the Board, so I'll be chairing our meeting this evening. We'd like to begin with our Pledge of Allegiance, and then we'll have Pastor Venus Womble come and give our invocation. So if we could, let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's remain standing for the invocation, please. Go forward.
Let us pray. Oh God, we come to you on this beautiful Tuesday, giving you honor and glory, for you are our Creator, you are our everything. God, as we move through this session on tonight, God, we ask that you would arrest our minds and our hearts. God, that things will be made clear, that we will understand, that we will move with wisdom, not just knowledge, but in knowledge and wisdom, so that the best choices and the best decisions will be made. God, we thank you for each and every member represented here. God, I ask your blessings upon their families. Continue to bless us and keep us. And oh God, we thank you for allowing us a safe place that we may gather, discuss, and make things better, not just for ourselves, but for our neighbors and for our friends, for our community, for those who exist and those who are on the way. God, we rejoice in you, and we thank you for your Son, Jesus, for it is in his name that we pray and give all the honor. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. You may be seated. The board operates on an agenda that has been passed out to us well in advance. The chair would entertain a motion that the agenda be approved.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve the agenda.
Second.
Second.
Okay, it's properly moved and seconded for the agenda to be approved. All in favor will signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The agenda is approved. All right, and then now we have the consent agenda. And on the consent agenda this evening, we have the approval of the board minutes of February 17th, the regular meeting minutes, February 17th, the absentee meeting minutes, February 24th, the budget meeting, February 24th, the absentee meeting minutes, March 2nd, the pre-election absentee meeting minutes, March 3rd, the election day absentee meeting minutes, March 6th, the provisional meeting minutes, and March 13th, the county canvass meeting minutes. Is there an objection to approving all of these together?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make comment about the regular meeting minutes to set the record straight.
Okay, which ones?
February 17th, 2026.
All right.
It's page 3 of 10.
All right.
I have served this board. I served 4 years as the chair of the Board of Elections. I have never served as a secretary. And I wanted to set the record straight that I've never served as a secretary, as was stated in our, not necessarily our minutes, as it was stated when we needed a motion for secretary. So I would like that to be recorded in the minutes. I've never served as secretary.
Thank you, Ms. Wright. Just a question for Ms. Seamster. These look like the original minutes before the secretary, myself, approved the minutes and sent them back. Do we not have the corrected minutes?
These are the corrected minutes.
Okay.
When you sent them back, they were saved onto that as replacing.
We don't have what,
I don't
I sent
have the
back.
old minutes that I sent to you, if that's what you're asking.
okay. All right.
This,
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
oh,
I was going to mention that, so when I read the minutes, I saw that, and I felt that when Ms. Totten made the comments, that it was perhaps unclear whether she said just secretary or an officer, and I knew that you had actually served as chair. I didn't know whether you had served as secretary or not, so I had actually corrected that.
Okay.
But that's not in the minutes that we see here. And so
I'll
would
check
you like
again.
to, would you like for us to correct these minutes to say that and rather than you had served as secretary, that you had served as officer?
no, because it wasn't to say that I was serving as an officer. It was to say that the motion was made for you to serve as secretary because I had already served as secretary. And I just wanted to set the record straight that there was no way for me to serve as secretary if I was chair for 4 years. And I just wanted it reflected. Yeah, just reflect that in the minutes.
So
Yes.
You're still okay approving the minutes, is what you're saying? Or are you?
Well, you haven't asked for that yet, but I want it included in the minutes that I have not served as the secretary.
Well, let me add to that. I did say that, but I was informed that you had served as secretary by another party. That's why I said that,
Okay.
just to clarify why I thought Bert's nomination was pertinent.
And at the time, again, what I heard basically was unclear. I heard you say secretary, but I thought I also heard officer, and I knew that she had served as the chair. So your correction is noted, and Ms. Seenster, if we can make a note of that. So are there other comments, or are we okay with approving all of these 8 minutes together?
So, Mr. Chair, I would move that with the one noted correction being done later, that I would move that we approve all of these minutes together.
Is there a second?
Second. Whoops.
That's all right. Mr. White moves, and Ms. Wright seconds the approval of all board meetings on the consent agenda. Further discussion, further debate? If not, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed would say no. The ayes have it, and the consent agenda, all of the board minutes are approved. At this time on our agenda, we have public comments. Ms. Steemser, are there any public comments this evening?
No.
There are none. And so this brings us to item number 7, which is pros and cons of early voting and election day precinct polling sites. I believe that we were informed that this would be a discussion, an opportunity for members to state any pros and cons that they had heard or had perceived regarding the early voting or election day precinct polling sites. So would someone like to speak?
May I say
Please.
We did, at your seats, you'll see a packet. We ask our judges and chief judges to make comments about the precinct site, so I have included that for you. That's not something you have to review tonight, but that you will have their comments. A lot of them they were very pleased with the sites, and there were some issues they thought got better as time went on, but that was just so you would have their comments as well.
So members, I assume everyone has this hand out a series of sheets, and certainly, obviously, there's a lot to look at, and we can also discuss this again at a later time. But as far as this evening, discussion, Ms. Totten, did you want to be recognized?
I will say that the sites that I went to and the sites that I audited, everybody was very positive about how things went, and no negative comments about the new locations. And everyone, those folks who were working at the polls were very positive about the new locations and everything that went on during the day. No major issues, minor incidents, but overall, a very good day, a very good process, a very good showing of voters, and no personal issues or personnel issues.
Thank you, Ms. Totten. The chair would like to state that the vast majority of comments that I received in visiting and speaking with people about the polling sites were very positive. I know that there were concerns mentioned about the Eden early voting site, just the access for elderly people in particular with the stairs or the length of the walk. And so that has certainly been noted. I believe that all of the members of the board are aware of that, and that's something we certainly would want to look at moving forward. Other than that, I also know that early on at the Penrose Mall, again, they are in the process of renovating that mall, and it continues to improve. I think the first day there was a little bit of an issue with maybe the plumbing or the bathroom situation, but I understand that got better.
Yeah, that was
And
easily and quickly taken care of.
No, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
Well,
Wasn't?
if the chair may proceed, and I'll be glad to yield the floor in a moment. But again, that certainly has been noted as well. I do understand that before this fall, there's going to be considerable more renovations done to that mall. And I would make the observation that the Penrose Mall location was the most voted at location, much more so than before. And so, again, just noting that there were concerns raised about those two polling sites.
Mr. Chair?
Ms. Wright?
Thank you for noting that, and that was one of the things that I wanted to note as well with the bathroom situation. It was taken care of, but it took 3 to 4 days or more. It may have been longer than that. I stopped counting. But it was corrected, and that's the good thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Wright.
And
Mr. White? Yes.
I look forward to reading all of this because I did not receive a lot of positive comments of the new locations. Certainly the Eden early location not only was negative comments, but I believe that we have to look for a new location before the November vote. There were several people who had a real challenge that on day one, someone fell, and I heard it reported well, but that didn't have anything to do with the new location. I disagree. I think that the long walk was part of what ultimately added to the fall and the injury that the woman sustained. I think I understand and I actually appreciate wanting to move to publicly owned locations instead of private locations and churches. But I think that in the case of the Eden early location, we need to find somewhere else. And I've talked to multiple city employees, and so far I haven't found anyone that's got a suggestion of a place that's owned by the city of Eden that would work any better. And so I think we even have to consider looking at a private location for that one, for the safety issues of it alone. With the Penrose Mall, I think that for the voters, it actually was a nice layout, but the space on the inside was much smaller than what the election workers are used to, and what one said to me privately, and I said that they needed to let that be known in their own comment. I don't know if that's in here or if it's been said, but they said that they would work the November election because they're already committed. But beyond that, if they will remain in that location, that they would be quitting after working for years. The Moorhead High School location was problematic, but that was problematic for different reasons, and I understand that that already will be taken care of in November because we weren't meant to use the auditorium, but we had to because of weather conditions that made the students need to use the cafeteria. So I think that probably will work fine. But I do think most definitely the Eden early voting location needs to be changed, and we need to find a new location as soon as possible so that we can alert people and not give them a last-minute 2-month notice.
Thank you, Mr. White. Is there further discussion? If not, let's move to item number 8, the director's update. Ms. Seamster.
Okay, the 2026 primary election update, which most of the board is aware of this, but I just wanted to go over it again. We had 10,354 voters during early voting, 7,875 voters during Election Day. We had 97 provisional votes that were approved by this board, and 93 absentee by mail ballots that were approved by this board. I can say that this election did run smoothly. The first day, usually, sometimes the laptops misbehave, but this is the first election in a long time. We didn't have any issues with our laptops. The precinct officials were ready for any challenge that may have come about. And I'll say this again, we have some of the best precinct officials in the state, if not in the nation. I am very honored to work with the precinct officials and the staff that I work with, as well as this board. And I want to commend all of the precinct officials and my staff for everything they did during this election. I thought they did a phenomenal job. And that's all I have.
Mr. And just on behalf of myself and the members of the board, I want to commend you and your staff for the job that you all did during this election. It was quite a heavy turnout for a midterm election, quite a heavy voting early turnout, and I was impressed. And I know that quite a number of other people were impressed, and we appreciate that very much. Members, do you have any comments or questions regarding the director's update?
I want to thank you on the cost breakdown. I think it was very interesting to me, and I think that that's sort of thing that it's good for the public to know that, you know, it does cost to do an election. And so to see that when you bring together early voting and election day, and I guess the recount stuff as well, that it works out to being $7.31 per voter, I'm assuming?
That is per
Yeah.
ballot cast.
Per ballot cast. So
Yes.
I think that's just interesting information to have. Thank you.
I will have more updated information from the recounts and all of that added to this. But yes, and if anyone in the public would like to see this, this is available on our website under agendas and minutes, and it is included in the packet. But we try to do this after every election because elections are not cheap.
Right.
But the more voters we can get to come out, the less the cost is per ballot cast. If you will remember, during the municipal election, it was like $17 per vote, where this is $10 less. So the more voters we can get out, the better the cost is. So, thank you.
Hey, members, further comments or questions regarding the director's update? If not, item number 9 is the board comments. So we'll just go down the line. Ms. Wright, do you have comments?
Yes, I think our meeting was short and sweet tonight. We do miss our chair being here, and thank you, Mr. Secretary, for sitting in his stead. I do want to take my hat off to Paula and her team for doing a phenomenal job with the elections and the way they handled things with whatever might have come up. We appreciate all that Roy does by putting our information out there with the updates, and I think things went well tonight.
Ms. Totten?
I want to mirror what Ophelia said in recognizing Paula and her staff and what a great job they do and how much they help us do our job. The election went well, I thought, setting aside all the issues that we had. They worked hard. They put in a lot of hours to get everything done, and the election runs very smoothly just because of them.
Thank you, Mr. White.
I have a few things. One, I also want to thank Paula and the workers, and I also want to thank everyone who's shown up as observers through all the recounts and through all those hearings. I think it's really important that people be involved, and so it's nice to have seen so many people showing up for all that. Under that, there's, as one of two of the minority party on this board, I think that part of my responsibility often is to at least say things to be on the record for clarity and that sort of thing. And in that case, last week, I believe it was, at the county commissioner meeting, the Republican chair of the county brought up a concern, and it involved something that I was involved in, so I think it's important for clarity purposes to put on the record what was said and then what the answer was. What was said was, after congratulating Republican winners of their primaries, it then went on to say, "It is concerning to me when I come to the provisional ballots being counted in this room, that this room had a great deal of Democrat attorneys from out of town. I understand our former Democrat governor even sent his attorney here to be here. They were celebrating. I sat behind some of them. Some of them, one of them was giving hand signals to someone on the Board of Elections that we saw. We could tell that that was happening. We need some healing. We need to come together, and we need to put aside this vitriol. I'm asking for that help today from all Republicans, the people that are at home and watching this. If you hear something that's ugly, stop it, stifle it. We have good people in this county. Let's go with these. We've got people that were elected to fill these positions. Let's support them. Thank you very much, and thank you for your time." So the hand signals was someone waving at me, and it's because we had just done the vote for the two people who had been purged, and they wanted to let us know that we had not properly cured those ballots, as we later discovered. The person who was waving, which I guess is a hand signal, was not, in fact, an attorney of Governor Cooper. It was a lady named Hillary Harris Klein, who I did not even meet that night. I met a week later at our canvassing meeting. And she's an attorney with the Southern Coalition for Social Justice, and she specializes in helping with advocacy for voter and voter registration maintenance and that sort of thing. So I just wanted to make it clear that although it felt like it was insinuated that nothing nefarious happened there, it was simply someone wanting to make sure that we did the right thing, which we ultimately did. And I think it's important for clarity that that be made clear on the record here at this meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. White. Ms. Seamster, I think Dr. Wright might be on the way with some lozenges or something. So,
Thank you.
but again, I have commended the director and the staff, and seeing the way that people conducted themselves during the selection process, going around to different sites, seeing judges that had been working sometimes for maybe 30 or 40 years, or maybe for the first time. I mentioned the fact that we had such a heavy turnout for a midterm election. I've heard a number of people say that for the last couple of weeks or so, we've pretty much been in the center of the political universe. And so I, again, just want to commend everybody involved by showing the state and even the nation how it should be done. It was done as well as it could be. And just kudos to everyone who was involved. And so that concludes our board comments. At this time, the board will go into closed session. Personnel pursuant to NCGS 143-318.11A6. Ms. Seamster, you may be dismissed, and
Need a motion to
everyone.
go into closed
Yes, thank you. I would entertain a motion for the board to go into closed session.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Ms. Wright has moved. Ms. Totten has seconded. All in favor that the board would go into closed session signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, no. The ayes have it, and the board will go into closed session.
We adjourn from the closed session.
Is there a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that we adjourn from the closed session. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Make a motion, we return to open session. Do we
Second.
need a motion for that?
Well, if we
never
do,
closed the open session, so I wouldn't think so.
Okay.
So we are in open session.
All right, we're back in open session.
So, no further business. You want to have further business? I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
so moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded, adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those no, the ayes have it. We're adjourned.